Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the country the world thought was frozen in time, a place seen only through the lens of war and chaos, is now quietly reshaping the future of Asia. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what's happening in Afghanistan today, and the world isn't paying enough attention. For decades, Afghanistan was defined by conflict, foreign interventions, and headlines filled with despair. But beneath the smoke and rubble, something far bigger is brewing, a transformation that could decide the balance of power in Central and South Asia for generations. At the center of this change stands the Qosh Tepa Canal, a colossal project cutting through the dusty plains of northern Afghanistan designed to reroute life itself by diverting water from the Amu Darya River. Now, pause for a second, because this is not just about water for farms, it's about control. Whoever controls water in Central Asia controls survival, trade, and influence, and that's a power no nation can ignore. Can you imagine the fear this sparks in neighboring Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, who depend on the same river? The Taliban may not be engineers in the traditional sense, but they understand geopolitics like seasoned chess masters. And while much of the world dismisses them as backward rulers, they are playing a long game, using concrete, canals, and construction instead of guns and bombs. Think about it. For decades, the word Afghanistan conjured up images of endless war zones. But today, the words being whispered are Kabul New City, TAPI pipeline, and China's $60 billion CPAC expansion. Sounds more like Dubai, doesn't it? And here's where the story gets fascinating. When we peel back the layers, these megaprojects aren't just concrete structures, they're symbols of ambition, signals to the region that Afghanistan will no longer be the pawn, it's aiming to become the player. But of course, ambition is never free. The world's biggest powers, China, Russia, India, Pakistan, even the United States, are quietly calculating their moves because Afghanistan is sitting on trillions of dollars in untapped mineral wealth, from lithium to copper to rare earths, the exact materials needed for the future of electric cars and artificial intelligence. And here's a question for you. Would the global powers really let Afghanistan control that without a fight? Or are we about to see another great game begin? One where instead of soldiers marching with rifles, nations compete with pipelines, dams, and city skylines? Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll break down how projects like the TAPI pipeline and CSA 1000 could either turn Afghanistan into an energy hub that lights up millions of homes across Asia, or spark the next geopolitical storm that no one is prepared for.
Now that you've seen how the Qosh Tepa Canal is reshaping Afghanistan's control over water, let's shift to something even more explosive: energy. Picture a single pipeline stretching thousands of kilometers, weaving through deserts and mountains, carrying the lifeblood of nations, natural gas. That's the $10 billion TAPI pipeline. Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. A project so ambitious that even its name sounds like a myth. For years, world leaders doubted it would ever come alive. But now, under the Taliban's watch, it's back on the table. And this is where excitement meets fear. Because if TAPI succeeds, Afghanistan won't just be a country in the middle, it will become the energy corridor of Asia. Imagine the Taliban, once isolated, now collecting transit fees worth billions annually, holding the switch that determines whether homes in India glow with light or shiver in darkness. Sounds like the plot of a Hollywood thriller, doesn't it? But reality is stranger than fiction. And just when you think that's enough, enter Casa 100, another megaproject designed to send surplus hydropower from Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan all the way down to Pakistan using Afghanistan as the bridge. So here's the irony. The same land that the world once feared as unstable is being asked to carry the future of regional stability. Makes you wonder, how quickly can perception change when money and resources are involved? But let's not forget, these projects aren't just about wires and pipelines. They're about credibility. If Afghanistan pulls them off, the Taliban gets more than cash. They get legitimacy, the kind that no speech at the UN could ever deliver. And speaking of legitimacy, nothing screams ambition louder than Kabul New City. Imagine this, a modern city rising from the dust, skyscrapers glistening under the Afghan sun, high-speed roads cutting across districts, luxury malls and residential zones promising to house millions. Sounds like Dubai 2.0, right? But here's the kicker. who's paying for it? And that's where China comes in. Quietly, patiently, strategically, China is extending its $60 billion CPEC corridor into Afghanistan. They don't just see roads and rails, they see minerals, lithium, copper, rare earths, the exact materials needed to feed their unstoppable industrial machine. If Beijing succeeds, Afghanistan won't just be part of China's Belt and Road, it will be the golden prize, the missing puzzle piece that connects Central Asia to South Asia. But let's pause here with a question. If China gains control, where does that leave the United States, or India, or even Russia? Will they sit silently while Beijing turns Kabul into its next outpost? Or will we witness a new Cold War, not fought with nuclear threats, but with bulldozers, pipelines, and trade corridors? Hold on to that thought, because in the final part, we'll uncover the hidden game, the trillions in underground minerals, the tug-of-war between global giants, and the shocking truth about how Afghanistan's so-called rebirth could spark a storm that changes the fate of Asia and maybe the entire world.
So here we are, standing at the edge of the real story, the story most headlines refuse to tell you. Afghanistan's transformation isn't just about canals, pipelines, or even cities. It's about what lies beneath its mountains and deserts. Trillions of dollars worth of untapped mineral wealth. Lithium, copper, gold, iron, rare earths. The exact resources that power smartphones, electric cars, fighter jets, and artificial intelligence. In other words, the future of the global economy might just be buried under Afghan soil. Now here's where the fear sets in. Whoever controls these resources doesn't just get rich, they control the future. China knows it, the US knows it, Russia, India, Pakistan, they all know it. And this is why Afghanistan is no longer just a war-torn country in the eyes of these powers. It is the chessboard where the next great game is being played. But this time, instead of soldiers with rifles, the pieces are corporations, banks, and infrastructure giants, each trying to claim their slice of the Afghan dream. The Taliban understands this too, and whether you like them or not, you have to admit they're holding a winning card, because they control the land that everyone else wants. And here's the emotional twist. After decades of war, displacement, and shattered families, ordinary Afghans are watching skyscrapers rise where rubble once stood. Highways cut through mountains where only dust existed, and electricity flow to villages that once knew only darkness. It sounds inspirational, almost hopeful. But here's the haunting question. At what cost? Will Afghanistan truly rise? Or will it become the center of another storm, another cycle of foreign exploitation disguised as development? And let me throw in a lighter reset before we go deeper. If you thought traffic jams in New York were bad, just imagine Kabul New City with Chinese highways and Indian trucks all rushing for minerals. Chaos would have its own GPS app. But jokes aside, the tension is very real. The water wars triggered by the Qosh Tepa Canal, the energy battles tied to Tapi and Seso 1000, the urban dreams of Kabul New City, and the mineral rush that could define the next century, all of it converges here, in one of the most unexpected places on Earth. And just when you think the picture is complete, remember this. History shows us that whenever Afghanistan rises, the world comes knocking, sometimes with contracts, and sometimes with tanks. So the cliffhanger I leave you with is this. Will Afghanistan become the Dubai of Central Asia, a hub of prosperity connecting nations? Or will it once again be dragged into the storm of global rivalries that could undo everything being built right now? The answer isn't clear yet, but one thing is certain. The stakes have never been higher. And if you found this story eye-opening, don't stop here. Click on the video popping up right now, where we dive even deeper into how China's Belt and Road is reshaping Asia and why it could either unite continents or break them apart. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.